Well, it looks like water and it feels like water. It must be swimming upstream again. It gets a little cold though. Hi there, I'm Dorothy Wilhelm, and this is the Swimming Upstream radio show. Now, today is a bit special because it's our Generation Gap show. So with lots of surprises, I'm already really surprised. And let's get, yes, I see Ray Miller still, our co-host, waving at me. And
Hey,
okay.
I'm also very cold, Dorothy.
Ray Miller still is very cold. How come you're very cold in summer and it's warm?
Because in my home office, I'm positioned exactly next to the air conditioning unit.
Oh my.
So even these last couple of days when it was like 86, 87, I am up here in a hoodie, and yeah, just not this morning because I couldn't find it.
And there's an egg machine?
The air conditioning.
Oh, air conditioning. I thought you said
Yeah.
egg machine.
No, it's the only way we can keep the upstairs cold, and I just happen to be right next to it.
Well, now it's great to see you again, and we're gonna celebrate a little of our country's birthday coming up soon. But because we've missed it, a show or so between the two of us, tell me something that I don't know about you or your new home or whatever.
I won't tell you something about me, but I'll tell you something about my kid. He just had his first ballet recital.
Oh, really? Did you get pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Come on, Dorothy. Come on. I got a brand new spanking camera, and it was my kid's first recital. Of course, I'm going to get photos and video.
what did he think?
Oh, he's loving it. He's loving it. We've got him enrolled in a couple of summer ballet classes, and he's out there. He's loving being on the stage. It's great.
You know, and that's a big improvement from the days when my kids were little or when I was, is that little boys weren't encouraged to be on stage. But now, as wonderful and as they should be, and I'm so happy he's enjoying it. But his mommy and daddy are very happy.
Oh, I cried when he went on stage.
Oh.
And I already even seen the rehearsal, so I knew exactly what it was going to look like. But it was a whole process. Just watching him evolve in this class and getting into ballet more and more. His was a production of Rapunzel. So anyway, we can talk more about later. Right now, we're going to talk about the 250th and maybe about how we celebrated his first big on stage achievement.
Yeah, we were actually going to talk about that. And I was going to introduce our new producer because she's a different generation, different from what I know. And so we each come from different generations and should be able to explain this. So I or not. I am, of course, the oldest part of the silent generation, but nobody ever believes that. It's because I've never been silent. But we followed the rules. We did what was expected, and I guess we're pretty proud of that. Now, next, of course, we've been talking to Ray Miller Still, who has a budding balletist in the house, and nothing better, absolutely nothing better. I remember making a Greek outfit for my son from a towel that had a Greek key around the edge, and it worked out nicely. So,
did you know the only people who wore the togas were actually senators and sex workers? Because they were the two. Those were considered the two public servants. So they were the ones who wore the togas. So just remember that the next time you dress someone in a Roman.
I didn't know that, Ray.
Well, I should have led with that with my fun fact of the day.
That would. So anyway, yes, you should have. So fun fact about your group, your generation. What do we know about you?
We didn't follow the rules because the rules didn't work for us. And if you think millennials were bad, wait until Gen Z really starts coming around.
And then, so we're going to introduce Karen, who is, and she will introduce her last name. But we're going to hear how they would have done things differently from you and me. or not. Karen, welcome.
Wait, Karen, you're not Gen Z, are you?
No, I am
Okay.
I am an elder millennial. So I barely made it in. I'm one of those they call us cuspers. So I'm an 82 baby. So I was a lot of Gen X traits. I have a Gen X sister that practically raised me. So there's a lot of that, but I am still a millennial, absolutely at heart. And Ray is right. We broke the rules because they stopped working for us.
When did you know that they didn't work?
Buying a house, certainly. That was a big one. I was like, can I ever afford to do this? You know, what do I have to do? I got lucky that I had, I got lucky that I was able to get a job right away out of college. But I have a niche job, and I had a great opportunity. Whereas I know people who are still trying to stay employed and stay above water financially.
Yes,
which we're also trying to do.
We were told, go to college, do all of that. You'll have a great job. You'll get retirement. You'll be with a company for 30 years. And no, that is
not how it works anymore.
Well, it's interesting for me because my kids actually span a generation. They're 22 years from the oldest to the youngest. And so the older ones really do, they have their house. They just bought the oldest ones just bought a summer home at Lake Chelan.
A summer home. Ooh.
Yeah. And so, but the younger ones, if they ever even get to own a house, it will be a marvelous thing. So we have to think about all of that. Well, you don't have to think about it, but there it is, So how does all of this come into our 4th of July, Happy Birthday America celebration?
That's a great question, and I do wonder by Karen's and my descriptions of our generational experience with the way America is supposed to work and the way it does work, if our cohort is more rolling their eyes at this sort of thing. Just like, yeah, it's cool that we've been around for 250 years. A lot of countries have been around longer. A lot of countries have been around shorter. So, it's cool, but we don't feel the American dream like a lot of the other generations before us felt, perhaps.
That's absolutely true, I think. Karen, what have you?
I absolutely agree. It has changed dramatically. I paid attention in school. I read the inscription on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your hunger. You're tired. You're huddled masses yearning to be free. And I always thought that's what we were. And, all these great things and all these things, like we were promised. And, if you do this, this will happen. And it didn't work that way. And I do think that there was kind of a lag in realizing that it didn't work that way. So I feel like, we're kind of behind and catching up, but I do think that we're trying. I think that some of the younger generations are going to end up making a turn for some things, but it's there was a lot of disconnect of what I was taught America was as a child and what I found America to be when I became an adult.
Well, the interesting thing, Karen, is you were born the year my husband died. Therefore, it's been a damn long time. No offense, people. So what was different about us, and it's not, I guess the little back hairs on the back, who are tastefully colored, kind of rise when we say we're not what we used to be. We heard the bombs. We were there to us, there could have been no finer calling than to keep things going. There were the soldiers came home. We hid from what was coming. So it isn't that and I'm just as dismayed as everybody. But it's not that somehow we're not doing it. It's that some way we've completely walked away from it. It's not, it's gone. Now, as a newspaper man, Ray, how are you going to explain all this?
Well, there's no way I can explain it within 45 minutes, or even I believe several books that people have tried to do. But really, it's just I think a lot of people these days are simply distracted by life because they have to. A lot of people are just trying to live, and if you're just trying to live, you can't get involved in your community. You can't pay attention to what's going around you, so you lose that sort of identity. And once that identity snaps, it's hard to regain because you are just doing what you need to do. You're taking care of your kids. You're working, your household is working 2 jobs or multiple jobs. Like you can't engage with your community. And that's really where I think we need to start is, Dorothy, I think that when you were growing up, your community was very much there for each other. That if you needed help, other people were there. That can be said for like here in Enum Club, but I don't know if that can be said in general across the country. Just like a lot of people are on their own because a lot of people just feel like that's how they have to survive.
Ray, it's interesting that you would ask that question because that's what this whole show is about, is that there are people all over the country doing wonderful things that we will never hear about on the news. Yes, people are doing it everywhere and people are helping each other. It isn't apparently enough yet because so many of the rules don't work anymore. And I think that was what you were saying too. It's
go ahead. Sorry.
Perfectly okay. Go ahead.
I'm curious about how you and your generation are going to be celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States. Are you even doing anything?
Yes, and this is fairly hilarious. Didn't mean to be. We're as you know, I'm in assisted living. I'm not thrilled. But it's kind of like a nice prison, actually. But anyway, but they will have they'll have a nice 4th of July program. Last year, on the 4th of July, we had a band, and it was very nice, and the band played. But after the band had played for an hour and had never played one patriotic 4th of July song, we asked them if they wouldn't play one patriotic 4th of July song. And it turned out that the band leader didn't know any July patriotic songs. Not one. He ended up playing the Snoopy theme. So that's one thing right away. What we thought about as being just de rigueur, maybe nobody knows the song. Maybe nobody knows the words anymore.
That'd be interesting because I went to our Memorial Day celebration down here, as I do every year, to take pictures and listen to the speeches. And it did seem to me that most people did not know the extended version of, I believe, the anthem, which, we only sing like the first little bit. But yeah, no one, once we went on to the second part, everyone kind of just got quiet, and you could really only hear the music play, and a few select people. That was interesting. I thought, I'm not sure what point that makes, if any. But maybe if I'm going to draw a conclusion from this, that sometimes patriotism is only one stanza deep.
It does. So you're talking about the national anthem?
Or it was, I think so. Does the national anthem have more than one?
I think it's
5 verses.
Yeah, 5. Okay, wait, can you say it all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so next episode, we need to have Dorothy sing it all.
Yes.
I don't think anybody would thank you for that, but I can do it. So,
I'm not looking for thanks. I'm looking for...
Okay, here. But I think this is one of the big differences. We know all the words to all the songs. That is the patriotic ones and all that. We don't fully understand what's wrong with you guys that you don't. But on the other hand, we get older and things don't work the same way as they did. What do you think matters as, again, newspaper and radio person? Ray, what do you think matters? Not what do we have to do so much as what could we do that would make things different?
What could we do that would make things different?
Different, not worse, different.
I think, well, as a newspaper man, I just got to say, you gotta do some more research. You got to do some more reading. I had someone, so we have an issue down here today about automatic license plate reader cameras, and this is a big issue around here because we got people on both sides of the aisle saying this is terrible, and we got people on both sides of the aisle saying we like this, and I don't know exactly where to focus. It's very well, I would say not bipolitical, but when the parties come together, bipartisan, but it's bipartisan on both sides, which is fascinating. But I had someone comment, wow, there should have been more information about how the city council came to this decision and who is responsible. I'm like, dude, I've been reporting on this for a year. Like, you can just go in ALPRs and find all the articles that I wrote. I can't include that in all of my information. And I know that you're angry at your leaders that have brought this on. They're gone. Like, those council members that both voted for and against that are no longer there. Half the council is new. So I know you're angry, but there's no one to be angry at anymore. You know, someone's like, well, the entire city council. I'm like, this city council had nothing to do with this. You are a year too late. And if you were on top of it a year ago, perhaps you can have made a difference. But being informed now is great. Being informed yesterday is even better.
You know, that is a terrific comment.
Make that a shirt. Make that a shirt.
I will, absolutely. Because you're angry, but there's no one to be angry at anymore, I think. But there is. Don't you know about the orange person?
We're not. No, it's not.
No.
We're talking about celebrations.
Okay. All right. Okay. But it is true. I think that sometimes we miss the solution because you are so angry about what's happening or tied up with it, as you were saying. You know that you were. My older kids, I got a lot of kids, are very involved with the No Kings. Somebody say the word, please.
Protests.
Yeah. Okay. And so different people are doing different things. One thing, not about this, but as a newspaper person too, I was very double horrified when the Seattle Times got rid of their bylines. Did you see that happen?
I don't read the
okay. I plugged the Times, but what they've done is there's no byline anymore. For me, that's a catastrophe. It just says written by the staff of the Times, and I apologize.
All right, I'll take a look at that later and do some research before I have an actual opinion. I just read what AI told me, which I always take with a huge grain of salt. I always click those links. Always click those links, people, because they definitely have taken you incorrect places. But that's fascinating and potentially horrifying. Because I never not put my name on something that I did not write. And in fact, I have had my stories taken from me with with my headline on there, but with changes that were made to it that I did not like as well, and which is its own issue. But yeah, no, bylines are super important because it means that you're transparent and people can reach out to you and know that you're a human being that can make mistakes. Not having bylines, just the anonymity of it spills down my spine, shivers down my spine.
Right. Yeah. So given that, so things are not as good as you'd like us to believe. I have. And we've managed to practically talk our way through this, unbelievable as it is. So what should we be remembering or doing on this 4th of July celebration? I know we're going to be having parties and admiring our little kids, and I'll be admiring my kids are in their 70s. Isn't that too funny? Imagine.
That's nuts. My brother's girlfriend was an only child until 3 years ago. She's 28. Her brother is 3. Yep. Speaking of generation gaps.
Yeah. That is. They must come and visit us sometime.
Would love that. Oh yeah, Ovid is a fantastic little boy. My kid worked really hard on getting him to come out of his shell and play. And once he came out, it was all hand holding, all playing all day. It was wonderful. Well, Karen, you haven't talked a whole lot. Do you want to answer Dorothy's question first?
Oh, I'm gonna. First of all, I'm a big proponent of sparklers. I know not everywhere can do that. You know, I know there are states that can't do fireworks. Love sparklers, but oddly enough, something that Bill Lewis, one of your guests, said last month is one of the things that has stuck with me, and it is to talk to people you disagree with.
Yeah.
And this all goes into the community involvement of, you know, nothing's going to change if you don't do anything, and it's finding little ways to do things. And that, when he said that last month, that really did stick with me, because it is hard to have those conversations. It is hard to have those conversations sometimes because they can get emotional. But I do think it is important to remember that we are a melting pot, right? That was the entire point of America, and that we should be celebrating that. So it is important, I think, to talk to people that you disagree with and staying informed and being involved in whatever ways you can, whether that's calling or emailing politicians, or just as Ray was saying, just knowing about it. Our city council does their meetings on Zoom. So if you can't go to it, you can watch it online. You can see the recordings. But I thank you for that reminder, Ray, that I often forget that a lot of what we see happening was decided long ago, and that we have to be paying attention from the beginning. So it's really just, you have to jump in, and you have to find that part to jump in. And it's okay if you jump in on something small, but it's standing still is where we can't do that. Standing still will leave us just that, standing still. That's all I got. But Bill really did. That really did linger with me, obviously, because I really appreciated that. I needed that perspective of talk to people that you disagree with.
Okay, and I'm going to say, for 4th of July, we made ice cream in Montana. In Montana, we only made ice cream in the winter because that was when there were icicles. We didn't have electricity, so we couldn't have it in the summer. But I remember one summer I was Cairo Radio and TV's creative living expert, and Jim French came down from Seattle and did a feature on my making ice cream. And it was a lot of fun. So I think do something you wouldn't ordinarily do, and try to do it with a little kid who will their little eyes just light up. They've never seen such a thing before, you know.
We made our own ice cream just a little bit ago, and not even with like the rock salt. There was a way my wife and kid did it where it just went straight into the freezer and pulled it out, but it was still a very hands-on involved process. So you don't even need to it was
you do need ice, honey bunny, you do need ice. See, we didn't have ice.
Well, but I mean, like when I made it in high school, I had to like shake it in the rock salt. We didn't have to do that. You didn't have to get that. Everything you had was available in your kitchen or at the grocery store or on the shelf. You didn't need to buy the special salt or whatever. I at this point, our listeners know what my political politics are and how I feel about this political administration, and that I kind of roll my eyes at a 250th celebration, but that will not stop me from saying that it is extremely important to go out and celebrate something good. If it's Independence Day, awesome. If it's a birthday, go do it. A personal holiday, just remember that there are things worth celebrating. And it's very hard in the middle of the day, in the middle of life, to remember that there are things out there that you need to remember that are good. And you can get bogged down in negative and just trying to survive. My kid's birthday was just last month. We've been celebrating with family, but his friends are coming up next week. And all we're doing is opening up our backyard to like 7-10 kids, and they're going to run around there and pick raspberries and just have a blast. It doesn't have to be big, but get family together, get friends together, and just remember to celebrate and find those happy things.
Well, I can't say any better than that. So we want to thank Karen and Ray Miller Still, our co-host. And I'm pretty sure I'm still Dorothy Wilhelm. You never know for certain. And we'll see you again Yeah, what? Yes. This is a production of the SOB Radio Network. SOB stands for Spunky Old Broads, and we'll see you again next week.